Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today is Tuesday, May 12th, a very special day as I'm sure most of you are aware, as it is the Season 5 launch for the game Apex Legends, the newish Battle Royale game along the likes of Fortnite, PUBG, and Warzone. Apex Legends has been out for a little over a year now, and they have been through 4 seasons, and today they are starting Season 5 with the launch of a new legend. This game stands out from a lot of the other Battle Royales due to each legend's specific abilities that allow very dynamic gameplay and fast-paced battles. The game is also characterized by increased mobility and lots of verticality between climbing buildings, making zip lines, and sliding down large slopes. This game is very fast-paced, very exciting, and it's also known for its very heated gun battles. Each new season, Apex Legends has introduced a new legend, with a new personality, new abilities, and a new look. This new season, we have Loba. Loba is a very intriguing new legend because she ties into the lore from the last season when they introduced Revenant. His lore and background consists of that his consciousness was transferred into a robot's body and was transformed into an assassin, a hitman, or a hit robot, one might say. Anyway, he was assigned a hit and took out Loba's father when she was just a little girl, and then she continued to hone her skills and practice becoming a thief, which made her able to become a legend for Season 5. Loba's skill focus is thievery, allowing her to teleport to another location simply by throwing a grenade or by creating a radius in which she can steal any loot that's in that vicinity. This sounds very powerful, very dangerous, almost broken. However, Apex Legends developers Respawn have been very good about keeping the game balanced between all of the characters and their various abilities, making adjustments as needed based on gameplay and feedback. So I'm very excited to see where they take Loba, and I'm very excited to see how this changes the dynamic of gameplay in the game. I wanted to film this beginning section outside today, get some fresh air, because I'm going to be spending the rest of the day in my room playing Apex Legends. So my game is updating right now. I'm going to run to the store, get some goods, because I'm going to be gaming on this all day. I'm going to capture some gameplay footage to show you guys of the new legend, and then at the end of the video I'm going to give you some of my thoughts on the new legend and maybe some tips on how to best utilize her abilities. So stay tuned, I got a lot for you in this video. I hope you enjoy.
Trap set and waiting. Radiant gas trap behind. Moving in on them there. Recharging shields. I say we move this way.
Loba's ultimate ability is a black market shop which allows you to buy loot for free that is anywhere within the radius that she puts down her staff that spawns the black market. You and anyone from your squad, and enemy squads for that matter, can go to the black market, grab any 2 items for free within that radius around the staff that she places. It doesn't cost anything to get loot. All that matters is that you can pick a maximum of 2 items, and it has to be within the radius that she placed her staff. And it is important to remember that enemies can loot from this black market pole as well, so make sure you collapse it once all of your teammates are done using it if you don't want other teams to be able to use your ability as well. Her passive ability allows her to see epic and high tier loot in the same radius as her ultimate ability, which is about 200 meters, and I believe that's the same as Revenant's ultimate ability as well. Now my favorite Loba ability is her tactical. This is her jump drive bracelet. It kind of acts like a grenade when you throw it, but when it lands, you instantly teleport to that spot where it landed. Also, it's good to know that you can press R2 at any time while it's in the air to instantly force it down to the ground and teleport to that spot even faster. I was very excited for this ability. I thought it would be a little bit OP, but they kind of balanced it very well because it does take a bit of time to fly through the air. You don't instantly transport wherever you were aiming. There's even a time bar that shows you on screen while it's flying through the air how much time you have until you will teleport to the new spot. And then of course, if you need to get out of a situation very fast and you need to leave where you are, you can always press R2 to instantly teleport at that time, but in exchange you won't travel as far as if you had let it travel over its full trajectory. I think that's a very good way to balance this ability. Use it to your best needs given the situation. If you need to get to a high up place, then you can let it travel its full way, or if you just need to get out of a situation, then you can instantly teleport to somewhere else. I really like this ability. I think it's surprisingly similar to Pathfinder's ability, meaning that you have a lot of mobility with this. It allows you to get way up high, to other locations, on the roofs of buildings very easily, things like that. I think this can be used very effectively in different situations. Now, there are some good strategies to use with some of Loba's abilities. As I just mentioned, I have been using it similar to Pathfinder's Tactical for mobility in combat and getting to hard-to-reach places, sneaking behind enemies in combat, quickly teleporting to a roof for a quick vantage point, or getting out of fire quickly. There are some very useful applications there. You can even combine this with Octane's jump pad and then throw your bracelet while you're in midair for extra distance. Also, when you're playing as Loba, I would try landing at a charge tower, charging up your ultimate instantly, and then using your black market to get the best loot you can in that area fast, and then you have better loot than anyone else in the playing field at that time. It's a great way to get a jump start to the game and get a head start and advantage. But more on those charge towers later. It's worth noting there are other new abilities for a couple other legends, most notably Mirage. Now you can control your decoys, which means if you press down on the D-pad after you deploy a decoy, it mirrors your every movement.
That's awesome.
Spider-Man does whatever.
It's just like Spider-Man climbing up the wall.
Yeah, I gotta get that timing down better, because you can make him go really high.
I think this gives Mirage players a lot more ways to use their abilities and get creative with things and fake out their enemies even more. Also, Mirage's ultimate no longer cloaks you when you use it, but instead your decoys do move with you. They mirror your movement. You're not invisible when that happens, so you're kind of forced to change your gameplay style a little bit. But I think ultimately it's much more balanced this way. It's less infuriating for the enemies if this is used on you. And ultimately just, it makes Mirage players think about their moves a little bit more and how they're going to use this ultimate. As far as cloaking goes, they did give him cloaking abilities where it does matter more, in my opinion. For instance, when you're reviving and respawning teammates. When Mirage respawns a teammate, you and the teammate are both cloaked, totally invisible, which is a huge buff. I love this. So when you're reviving teammates, when you're respawning teammates at a beacon, and when you are downed, you are completely invisible that whole time, which is very effective when you're needing to revive teammates and you're being chased. If your enemies can't see you during that time when you're reviving, it gives you a big opportunity to get back in the game there. And also his bamboozle quip only triggers when you actually bamboozle an enemy now. He doesn't say it every time he shoots out a decoy, which A, makes more sense in general because he's actually talking to someone then, and B, this is very beneficial to the player because now you know if an enemy saw you decoy and if they even shot at it, then Mirage will say his quip and you are now informed that the team is pursuing you and they are looking out to see where you may be. That's the biggest change to any of the other legends. However, a few other legends do have minor changes. For instance, Bloodhound has an increased sonar scan time from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. Not that big a deal, but it is something. Kind of balances out further since he got a huge buff in one of the last updates. Now he can scan a larger area. I think that's effective. Oh, he also has a decreased cooldown time from 35 seconds to 25 seconds. Lifeline, there are no changes to her actual gameplay. It's just that she has more lifeline bins in the arena now. So about 20% of all the supply bins in the arena are lifeline bins now. So if you're playing as lifeline, 20% of those bins are going to be for you to unlock those secret compartments. Also, knockdown shields, not going to be in those secret compartments anymore. Caustic gas traps no longer detonate through doors, so if you're placing traps down on the other side of a door and an enemy tries to open it and it doesn't open, it's not going to detonate anymore, so they won't get damage dealt to them, but it will keep them, I imagine, from not being able to open the door. So it does work still as a security measure, it just doesn't work as an offensive measure in addition to that, which I think is a good adjustment. It sucks for Caustic mains like me, but I do think it's appropriate. Also, Caustic's gas no longer slows your teammates. Your teammates can now move freely through Caustic's gas, which I think is important because it was kind of a bad thing when you put a gas trap down and your teammates couldn't move fast through it. Octane's ultimate jump pad cooldown is reduced from 90 seconds to 60 seconds, which is interesting. I don't know why they felt the need to do that. I feel like the jump pad had a pretty quick cooldown time already, but hey, make it even faster. That's what he's about, right? Gibraltar's dome time was reduced from 16 seconds to 12 seconds. A little bit of a nerf there, but nothing too serious. Pathfinder. Now this, I think, is the biggest nerf of the game. Pathfinder's grapple cooldown was raised from 15 seconds to 35 seconds. What a nerf! Yeah, this is, I'm so glad. I'm just going to start by saying I'm so glad that they did this because Pathfinder was broken. When half the players are choosing Pathfinder, you know that that's an overpowered character. Pathfinder is supposed to be a scout class legend. He's not supposed to be an assault class legend, and that's how Pathfinder was being used. It was being used as an assault class legend by grappling to places, you know, firing at an enemy, then 15 seconds later grappling around the entire area, shooting from behind, then 15 seconds later grappling on top of a roof, shooting from up there, then 15 seconds later go back to the starting location. It's like you can't even keep track of the dude. This is not what he was meant to be played as. This is not how he was meant to be primarily used. This 35-second cooldown time is so important because it makes Pathfinder players really think about how they're using their grapple and when. Pathfinder was overpowered. It was very irritating for other players when facing Pathfinders because A, Pathfinder is hard to hit already. Very small hitbox area. Secondly, when you're moving so fast from point A to point B and so often, that's crazy. So all you Pathfinder mains, suck it. He got nerfed. You deserve this. You're the ones who did this to us. You're the ones to blame. Your fault. Ha! Ha! Okay, rant over. I digress. La 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 la. That's it for the legends, but there have, of course, been a lot of map changes. We have almost an entirely new map. It is still Kings Canyon, but the entire southwest area of the map has completely been destroyed. Loba collapsed that entire area when she joined in for Season 5. So now Skulltown's gone, Thunderdome's gone, all that's gone. Instead, we have Salvage, along with a giant skull that is being salvaged in this area. Now, you may or may not know this, but in the skull next to Salvage, in the nose of the skull, actually, there's high-tier loot that spawns there usually. Usually it's a level 3 body shield, sometimes, occasionally it's a level 4, and occasionally it's not that good a loot. I landed there once and it was just a syringe. So it's kind of a toss-up, but it's likely that there will be a high-tier body shield there waiting for you in the nose of that skull. So keep that in mind when you're landing there, either in duos or with your squad. You just have to run around the long way then to get back into Salvage to help your squad out if they're fighting other enemies there. There are multiple other nostalgic locations from the first few seasons that are no longer in Kings Canyon. For instance, Relay is gone, has been replaced with Rig. Wetlands is also gone. That's been replaced with the Capacitor. The Capacitor is a very cool area that kind of has these, it's kind of like a coliseum with these huge walls around it and some structures on the inside. It's very hard to get in there. Now, if you haven't seen this yet, there's actually a secret passage that goes underneath from Capacitor into Labs, completely underground. Didn't know about this the first time I played, and I got killed the first time I went into Labs because I was holing up in there and I got murked from the side when some people came in from Capacitor. So if you're holing up in Labs, please be wary of that secret passage. It's immediately to the right when you come out of the portal at the bottom of Labs. And there's one more secret underground location that I want to show you all today, and that is right on the edge of the map next to Salvage. Now you want to look for this rock that's kind of jutting downwards a bit, and beneath that you want to look for the iron bar that's jutting out from the side of the rock. And then drop below that to the platform and you'll find the secret underground area. Now there's lots of loot down here, there's guns, there's shields, there's some ammo. It's great to get a good start to the game, and the best part is there is 100% guaranteed a golden knockdown shield. You want to head back into this hallway, into this back room, and then you will find the golden shield. It's guaranteed to be there every single time, along with the hemlock and the hop-up. So make sure you grab that at the beginning of every game. It's a great way to start off the game. And then, of course, you and your squad can also charge up all your ultimates with the charge tower that's down here. And no one else knows where this spot is. So, well, I guess now you do, but no one will know where to go to get to you. So it's pretty safe to charge up your ultimates in this location. So charge up your ultimates, and when you're ready to leave, do not go to this back exit here with this zip line. It doesn't lead anywhere. It's a fake. Where you really want to go is you want to go back into the hallway where you got the knockdown shield. And see that little box on the side there? You want to hit that box, and then a zipline will drop down for you so you can safely get up and escape. Now, you may have noticed the type of hatch that opened up when you did escape from that underground area, and you may also realize that there are many other hatches that look just like that scattered around the map. Well, I think this is a giant clue that these areas may eventually open up on the map, and this first hidden area is very much a clue to what can come later in the season. Maybe there's a whole underground area for us to discover. Who knows? Maybe it has something to do with the quest. Whatever the reason is, I think Respawn is teasing something here, and I think that there's going to be a whole network of underground passageways and secret areas for us to discover this season. And I am absolutely psyched. This new version of King's Canyon will be available for 2 weeks before they start rotating that in with World's Edge like they did at the end of Season 4. So they're going to go back to switching back and forth between the two maps, which I think is great because then you don't get tired of one or the other. Also, be sure to check out the new charge towers. I know for a fact there's one in Capacitor, and they're also sprinkled throughout the rest of the map. These charge towers are a platform with a tower in the middle, and it completely charges up your ultimate ability. And any of your teammates or any other legends that are standing on that platform at the same time you do this will also get their ultimates completely charged. So if your whole squad is standing on the platform, you use the charge tower, you're all going to get your ultimate abilities instantly, which is awesome. But it's very loud as well, so be wary of that when you're using them. A good strategy for these would be have your lifeline ult completely charged up, use it next to a charge tower, then use the charge tower to instantly get another one, then call in a second care package, double the loot, double the fun, go kill some enemies. Another very cool addition to this season that I wasn't really expecting is the season quest. It's kind of a story expansion for Apex Legends, which is very unique for a battle royale. I love how they're incorporating so much lore into a battle royale game. Like, who does that? It's awesome. This season quest is a way for players to explore the lore further of the Apex games and experience a story featuring all of the characters. It seems very unique and interesting, and I'm honestly intrigued to see how this plays out. Too bad there's no voice acting, because I know we all love the voice acting of these legends. It's just reading text and conversation that happens between them, but it's still pretty cool, and I'm excited to see where the story goes. I think it's going to reveal a lot about Revenant's and Loba's relationship, as well as why she's really here at the Apex games. As far as weapons go, there are no new weapons in this season. However, there have been lots of changes to the pre-existing weapons that we already know. There's a new set of fully kitted gold weapons that you can find throughout the arena, and these include the Longbow, Spitfire, Hemlock, EVA 8, and RE45. The Mastiff is no longer a legendary shotgun that you can only get from supply drops. The Mastiff is actually now a common gun that has been nerfed slightly, rightfully so as well, but it's still very, very powerful. I've done as much as 106 damage just with the common version of the Mastiff if you hit the headshot just right. So even though the Mastiff isn't legendary anymore, do not sleep on it. The Mastiff honestly packs a hell of a punch, especially considering how common it is. I'm finding it in almost every single area in the map. It has a very quick rate of fire, does a lot of damage, very effective shotgun, highly recommend. Replacing the Mastiff as the legendary shotgun would be the Peacekeeper. The Peacekeeper you cannot find anywhere in the arena anymore, you can only get it from supply drops, and it's fully kitted, golden weapon, back to its former glory days from Season 1. The Peacekeeper is back, baby. Powerful. I love it. Go get them kills with the Peacekeeper. More weapon adjustments include that the Alternator and the RE45 got buffs. The Havoc, Longbow, and Wingman got very slight nerfs, and there's more details on exactly what those changes are in the patch notes, which I will link below in the description. Also, this was a very welcome piece of information. The Skull Piercer is back! Yeah! Skull Piercer, baby. This is Season 1 nostalgia galore. The Skull Piercer is back for use with the Longbow and the Wingman. I think it's been nerfed just a tiny little bit from where it was in Season 1, but it still does a lot of damage when you get them headshots. So keep an eye out for the Skull Piercer when you're in the arena. In other item news, the Golden Armor does no longer give you an increased heal time when you're using consumables. Unfortunate, sad face. That was a really awesome perk that you had with the Gold Armor. However, when you're using smaller consumable items like shield cells and syringes, you do get double the amount healed when you have golden body armor. I think this is a balanced change. I don't know if I'm happy about the change. I think I'd rather have the increased heal time, but you know, I'll take what I can get. The last feature that I want to talk about that they added in Season 5 is this really cool reconnect feature that is available in ranked mode. If you are disconnected accidentally in any way, if your game crashes, if your internet drops out, if you quit the game from the console menu. Basically, if you leave the match in any way that's not through the in-game menu to leave the match, you have the opportunity to reconnect by restarting the game, reboot the game, and you will automatically put back into your match. You will just show up as AFK and that you disconnected in-game. So if your teammate looks like they disconnected, but they haven't actually left the match yet, don't lose all hope. They might be coming back. I think this is a really awesome feature that's going to save a lot of matches and a lot of squads, honestly. So kudos to Respawn for figuring out this reconnect feature. It's a really great way to keep people in the game.
Dude, reconnect is so great. I'm back in the game. I'm totally getting sniped at.
So far, my thoughts on Season 5 is I'm very, very happy with it so far. I think that the game is the most balanced it's ever been. and the weapon assortment feels just right how they have it right now. The game honestly feels kind of like a return to form to how it was in its first season, only better, smoother, more full, and more exciting with all of the new legends that have been added over the last year. The Battle Pass loot is continually better as well, with badass skins, fun emotes, and banner poses. Now, the one thing I hope they add in the future would be some more legend finishers. Each legend only has one legendary finisher move right now that they can unlock. And I think it would be really cool if Respawn made more of those, kind of how they're doing more skydiving emotes, if they created more legend finishers to unlock, because that could add a lot more fun and dynamics to the gameplay experience as well. And overall, just all of the legends need more finishers. That's what I think. I think it would also be really cool to see an additional underground section to King's Canyon come up later in the season. Loba seems very familiar with this underground version of King's Canyon. I think that if they had this underground network of passageways and areas beneath all of the King's Canyon that we know, would be like a whole new map within the same map that we already love. That would be so awesome and very much in line with Loba's character in Season 5. So if they add an underground area later in the season, you heard it here first, and I think that would be super badass. I've had a lot of fun playing Season 5 so far the last couple days, and I can't wait to keep playing all season long and ranking on up. If you're an Apex fan, you already know. But if you've never played Apex Legends, or if you used to play and you're not sure if it's worth a revisit, I'm telling you, Season 5 is next level. It's a total blast in so many ways. So what are you waiting for? Go start your console or PC, go start that update, and let's drop into the Apex games. Alright, I'll shut up. Go eat some Doritos, or actually no, eat a mango, it's way healthier. And I will see you all in King's Canyon. Peace.